I disagree that only leaders could influence or decide organizational culture change. We are, I think, with some of my colleagues, new friends and foes at the Open Leadership Network, as well as the Beta Codex Network, as we heard a little bit today, this morning earlier, breaking free of this old, archaic paradigm of top down, bottom up, with the power of invitation based and open space, the return of open space. These two approaches truly elevate all stakeholders, yes, everyone, employees and managers together to co create the new world of work and even beyond with that agility, adoption, evolution over transformation. This is the phase when, through business agility, onward the chasm and common sense arrive in uncovering continuously new ways of satisfying the customer and elevating employee experience to the next level, always wiser and better. So let's together this Friday, May the 12th, breaking the myth of this business agility, agile transformation that doesn't exist with this very agile special episode. So welcome you everybody. I'm Alexandre Frédéric Joly, known as your coach AF. And for me, AF means a lot of things. Positively and with light and love, it's agile with fun, agile with force, agile with fulfillment to achieve and be happy. A lot of people forget that the search of happiness, it's nothing if you don't have an achievement that you feel fulfilled. Do we already have a chat? No. Okay, it's probably, I don't know. Someone, LinkedIn private user says go. Okay, go. Go AF. So it's kind of funny that this user experience, once again, of, LinkedIn, Microsoft LinkedIn. Oh la la. So today I'd like to go through, of course, I've got a list. I've got a list here of an amazing zillions of myths about agile for software development, the Scrum system, not a framework, the lean thinking and lean design misconception, and of course, the real modernity, the real evolution that we're going to mostly concentrate our effort are the zillion of myth or misconception about what is business agility. And by the way, I'm working on a part two of I did the What is Agile back in the day, inspired by Jason Little and others. You know, the 7 things that, and let me do something here because they told me, yeah, that's right. So, yeah, the 7 things that every agilist, every pretend agile coach should know about this agile movement and innovation. If they don't know these, well, I bet they are not the agile coach you want to hire to help you go through that path if you still believe in it. And once again, okay, Veronica or anyone at Melon app, I didn't touch any fracking thing. I just cut down, let me see, yes, I just shut down my VPN because you asked it. And now again, I was off screen once again. What is going on? I've got a 100 megabytes, very powerful internet. And yes, I play music in the background because I love it. It's the Agile Lounge way. So what is it with you, Melon app? What is it? Why when I watch the replay or re-upload on Rumble, I see a very bad quality of it? Come on. So I'm going to probably cut this part and send it to you for improvement. I'm not necessarily like pissed off, but yes, I am. It's been like week after week. This always happen, and so sometimes we just don't know. Is it like so? Why did you just like boom the screen? Like I was not on screen anymore. I swear I didn't push any button. Anyways, okay, so guys, I'm sorry about that. It's live and it's user experience. So it's part of the true meaning of uncovering new ways for a better user and customer experience. Veronica and team over at Melon App, please, what is this? It's incredible. So if you raise your price, you're sure I'm gone. Even if I kind of like the lightness of it, but anyway. So let me now go back to this misconception of business agility. I'd like to talk today about, and this also will be. Don't ever expect too much visual here for you who are watching on Rumble and YouTube and LinkedIn, because it's mostly record most of the time for my club of jogger out there that I salute again. And I do the jogging while listening and grabbing in their pocket their Real Agile podcast. So even though we do the Friday Live Agile, oh, and by the way, on that, could you please tell me in the comment in today's live of Friday, May 12th, or even after, because my videos are always available for eternity as long as I'm not deleted. So please tell me in the comment below if you would like to. For me, of course, it's Friday Live Agile. Even though they're real Agile, it's always a promise of the last Friday of every month. So it will have to keep the Friday. But I was wondering if, especially with the summer coming, if being at 9 o'clock a.m. Eastern time, which will be 8 o'clock for a lot of my subscribers on the Central Time and Mountain Time. So anyways, so tell me in the comment if I should change my time. And I'm going to do also, there's a survey on LinkedIn. It's going on right now. And we are going to have a survey on the YouTube community place on my channel. And speaking of channel, again, you are 70% of watching more than half of the hour, almost every week. And you're not subscribed, so please do so. Subscribe, hit the bell. I'm almost at 800 on YouTube, and I welcome actually 3 new subscribers on Rumble. And it is crucial that you go and Rumble and subscribe and hit the bell. So all the link for Rumble, and also if you'd like to buy me a coffee to warm up my heart, on that, cheers to you. And some Satoshi or Bitcoin, you're more than welcome. Every link are in the description, especially of the YouTube and Rumble video. And later, after the live, you have a pinned comment with reference link that I will give you, like bad link and good link. As I said, myself, with my 20-some years experience, I've got zillions of lists of anti-pattern, misconception, and everything. But today I'm going to concentrate on 5 that touch the myth of what is business agility, or what people think about business agility. And that I chose a subject before what happened to me. I was at the Lunch and Learn, the Crew Collective. And by the way, I hope that you're going to come with us first for the SCRUM beer, a very first open retrospective, an evening of lessons learned with bring your own beer. If you don't want to bring your own beer, then you have to give something between $10 and $50, and we're going to purchase it for you, and it's going to be available on spot. So this is about in 2 weeks, Thursday, May 25th, at the Crew Collective and Cafe in Old Montreal, Metro Square, Victoria. So far on the 30 people, there's about 14 spots left. That's okay, but please join us. It's going to be amazing. And speaking of crew have launched Lunch and Learn, and the first one was really great with Adam Johansson, a product manager, and he spoke about product strategy and everything. And it's all things beyond Agile, but I was amazed to see a lot of things that he was discussing as an approach were part of they were part of this enterprise scrum from my family of Mike Beadle and more. So that was amazing, like to see the interconnection and the interaction that we might have, like new ideas, new ways of doing things, not static. Once again, but also like reflecting to things of before, without probably knowing that. So that's the amazing human experience, the human spirit that we all put together, I hope. So I would like to and yes, so this first lunch and learn, I see one of my ex-colleague from one of our ex-client, and the tempo right now, sometimes I think we project things, we project who we are into others and so on. But I was amazing to have a mirror with this great architect when I spoke about, oh yes, and me, I'm going to talk at the crew lunch and learn on June 7th. If you want to come, it's free. You just grab your sandwich and stuff. And it's going to be about like the 8 open patterns of business agility that I hope to do this year, maybe with Ryan or Daniel Mizik, I don't know, as well as a free open mic. But the thing is, when I when I said the word business agility, even if we put open before, his reaction was, agility is killing it, and it's dead. And then, so everybody is like very, like, especially in Quebec. But my thing, and you're going to see it in the 5 that we're going to see very shortly, and today's podcast of the Friday Live Agile, 115 episode right now. Amazing. So this gentleman says, like, he he expressed what too many people perceive and misconcept. What is agile? What is Scrum? What is lean? And of course, what is business agility? And that's the problem. This kind of individuality without collaboration, this kind of false conflict, this kind of and especially when I'm here in this belle province, the Quebec, I think like the masses of consultant and coach, they don't and coach that don't want to be consultant because they don't want to work, they don't want to help you real for real, as we do here at the Agile Lounge. My team and I, we could be a consultant, we could be a program manager, we could act as a customer experience design, we could act as a scrum master. We don't care of the title, we care about what you want to achieve and what you need from us. So if you want me to put my hat of a consultant and do stuff with you, I'll do it. But you have to promise that I could also train someone that will take over when I left. Because when Elvis leave the building, the show must go on at your place. And when we say the show must go on, we mean it's not static. It's not a one size fit all, or it's not the one thing that I showed you and I built with you. You should improve continuously about this method. So that's why we say there's no more transformation A to Z. It's more an adoption of an organizational culture, a way of communicating together, a way of delivering together, that after that adoption of these guiding principles that most of the time will teach you here at the Agile Lounge for Business Agility to activate into active pattern, active method that should be reviewed as soon as you uncover new information, new data that should help you continuously improve what you do and what you want to be. So that's the key thing. And yes, it's simple as this, even if people think that it's not as simple as it. What complicating the thing is the power structure, the ego system, like the ego, not echo, ego. So it's all about this. This is the distortion. This is the distortion. But in front of the distortion, we propose the renegade approach, the divergent approach here also to help you go through. So that being said, I did promise, and I forgot last week, that I would like to read a couple of, is it here? No. I'm on prepare because I had a busy Friday morning. And then after this amazing podcast, I'm gonna be under the sun like most of you seems to be because it's only 5 listeners right now. Hello there. Usually I have an average of 20. So hello there. Say hi in the chat if you like. And I would like to read you. Is it here? Where is it? Because I receive a lot of emails and I some of them kind of touches me about comment and also like kind of critic, and I will read it out loud if I could find it back. Sorry about that, guys. I should have like prepared all of these little WhatsApp and Telegram that we receive on the day real agile and so on. Is that it? No, it's not. Hold on a second. Because I think it's important. Like a lot of people don't want to interact on the live stream on Friday right away in the chat. I could understand that. Or maybe that's why 70% of you are watching because you don't even have a Google or Rumble account and you just watch it like on the without being logged. So I could understand and appreciate that. And for the podcast, even though if with my PowerPress on Blueberry, you could actually comment directly on the blog post of the podcast at therealagile.com. I see that most of my 5,000-ish subscriber, they send me emails instead, or I receive a message through a message board of the podcast hosting, which is great too. And this is what I'm looking for right now. And it seems that I don't know the F. I did put it. Let's see here. Maybe here. I'm so sorry about that. So maybe I will have to do it next week because I don't want to keep anyone waiting, especially for those who are around the Montreal or the East Coast, because I believe there's going to be an amazing Mother's Day weekend for North America. It's a beautiful sun, blue sky right now. So let me see if we do have this. And if I don't, no, I don't think. Okay, so I promise that I will make time next week to actually prepare those emails and read it to you, and also respond to these women and men who take the time sometimes to even like give me a kind of a long email about it. So now I'm just like confused a little bit. No, so this will be part of. Okay, now. Yeah. So you see, I failed. I failed for my 115 sprint. To I should have prepared because now it's all upside down, all over the place. Maybe it's on my laptop. So that's the funny thing. Yeah, because it's not here. Definitely not here. Okay, guys. So why don't we go through those? I'll just choose 5 right now. So 5 misconceptions, 5 myths, and I will talk about the more factual aspect of it without the bias of an opinion. So I believe that the number one of misconception and business agility is about words. And I had the honor and the chance to be part of the enterprise scrum for business agility created by Mike Beadle, and then after co-signed by 19 people. That some people I am in contact with, but virtually in contact with for now. The music of this world, John Renson, so on. So it's all about words. And I remember at a Scrum gathering in 2018 in London, UK, John McFadden made a little tribute because it was really recent. For those of you who don't know yet, 4.5 years later, Mike Beadle was assassinated in Chicago in March of 2018. So the Scrum gathering in October, of course, was for those who was a student like John McFadden. So he talked about one of the takeaway of the proposal of Enterprise Scrum was to simplify the language, simplify the words, to make it not to scale, because you scale your business and you transform your business. So that's a misconception. So here is the words thing. So we need to simplify the language, because the lean guy, for instance, the lean and the Kanban people, they will have a tendency of create complex system, complex things, and they forget about the flow stuff. And it's always amazing me when I see uh, that something that should have been put in place to cut waste, to move forward, and to continuously uncover new ways for both the lean system and the agile mindset, then those people who come after the innovation and after the early adopter bringing us to the chasm, they just continuously forget the what is the definition of a word, and our word matters. Yes, the semantic matters in any language, by the way, and it's not just a question of translation. Whether you work in French, German, English, Polish, Spanish, so if you utilize a word to define something, to define a state, to define a method, to define a pattern, if how is the people understand from their perspective that word? So when we say that it's a misconception to say that business agility it's about words, I don't believe it's a misconception. It is in part about word, like anything else will be about word. If you have a word that define an owner, for instance, and Scrum, they're clearly defined. Describe is not prescribe; it's description. They will say we have a product owner, and that product owner, uh, he owns the product that the team will develop and put forward. So this is very, very, very narrow to the software lifecycle and software development. And when we talked about a product, and most of the case, it was about software development. Although, with the review of the guide in 2020 and the way they made the guide as a description and very flawless for you to interpret, that's also an important thing. So, and business agility, that's why we say that's the first myth. The myth is that the words business agility it's all about words. It's not. And the fact is you have to be clear and defining what every word will mean and the path, like you do in Scrum, like you do in anything else. Okay. And because here's the thing. You know, just to be sure that we're clear on this, people could get scared if you introduce new names. Okay. For because if you work, because first and foremost, all of these approach and technique are made for the workplace. It's for businesses that want to transform the way they deliver their product, services, and solution. It's also about all those patterns will take an effect. So you could buzzword. So that's why we said like the misconception. If you made business agility a buzzword that encompass all of these other word and buzzwords such as Kanban, Tribe, Safe, Scrum, Squad, Lean, blah 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 blah, without explaining them, without teaching them, and even though do you need to use all of those words? So I start with the example of simplifying the language. That was Enterprise Scrum, one of the mission of Enterprise Scrum, by simplifying the wording. And Enterprise Scrum was made for business agility, which is a lot of people would have another myth that business agility it's all about frameworks, plural. Yes, there's no mistake here. Frameworks. But first and foremost, as you know, here at the Agile Lounge, my team and I, we are not necessarily about framework. We are not necessarily about um, any transformation path or something like this. What we are about is what do you need as a business client for your consumer client? Okay, it's people first over anything else. And then the anything else, we'll get through it while we start working with you as a consultant, as a coach, as a facilitator, as a trainer, depending on what is the need right now. What is the now that we should do? So, coming and sell a framework, and especially one of the myth in business agility is a lot of people see it as an umbrella or a cloud words of different technique and different pattern, which is not. And business agility is not necessarily a mindset like people like to say, because we are not selling a mindset either. We are not selling the adjective of being agile either. Okay? So the misconception here, it's thinking that yes, business agility is about frameworks, and it's not. Business agility, it's about a mission statement, having your vision, okay? Not to work with VUCA, the famous volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. But business agility, it's a mission statement for you to enable a system of decision making and decision rights to create maybe a framework that will suit yourself. So one of the big representation of this myth surrounding business agility with frameworks is what people call, and it's returned to number one misconception of the wording, the buzzwording, what people call the Spotify model. There is no fracking Spotify model. Spotify was first at its conception a Scrum-based company with sprint design marketing. Boom! They use the Scrum system and they enable with their employees and their co-creator, they co-create their own system. Like I did in Austin with Urban Acolyte. We use the Scrum system as a foundation to create their own system and framework. So this is how it's worked. And when we imply business agility, it's because we know it's not only for the production sector or the software development sector. It's for the entire enterprise. So you don't need a framework for that. The framework will be an effect of a specific team or a specific section of the ways that you'd like to deliver goods, deliver services, and so on. So, of course, you're going to do processes and tools. When we say it's people first over anything else, it's like in the manifesto for Agile software development. We don't say that process and tools, technology, technique, frameworks are not important. What we say is that the people that you hire to do something, to maybe define a framework, because the framework, it's a way to do things. Yes, I'm all for it. But you're not coming in an organization, whether you are in charge or responsible of it or accountable of it, or either you're a consultant hired to help them, to teach them, you're not coming with this box of things and they're here. Use Scrum. Boom. And Scrum, it's a framework. It's already a misconception. You see? So no, business agility, it's not about framework. It's about a mission statement to enhance all stakeholders' experience, to make sure that everything will be clear, the decision rights will be given, and so on and so on. All right. Number 3, misconception about business agility. We just talked about stakeholders. A lot of people think that business agility is for employees only. As a matter of fact, it is not. The matter of fact, as Steve Denning says, business agility is the future of management, meaning that we aim to transform the manager who manage things into leader who will be an example for the employees, but also to make sure that any type of stakeholders and the enterprise will benefit of this guiding principle within business agility and the pattern that you experience as you move on. So it's not just for employees uh, having a transformation of the way they work. It's for the entire. It's for your supplier. It's for your partner if you have partners. So that's why I remember back in the day with the enterprises canvases, you had a square or rectangle about like stakeholders, and you could define. We had not just only UX and CX. We had EX for employee experience. We had SX for shareholder experience, and S2X for stakeholders experience, and so on and so on. So a lot of people were like, probably we could make fun today in this work world about like LGBTQ, but that's not an X in our case. But the thing is you have to think in terms of, again, it's a tailor product, it's a tailor way of approaching things. So no, business agility is not only for employees, it's for everyone in the organization that work within, outside, with, for, and everything. Okay, so have it in mind, and it's a future way of management. It's a future way of being more a circular, decentralized management as well. And this is because in a centralized or concentrated organization, which we call alpha, uh, the risk of achieving business agility will be to zero, because if you're not empowering your people and if you're not getting the feedback from your customer, this is not business agility, period. Okay. And the number four, oh, again, business agility is just for tech departments. As I said, I'm going to show five today, but as I said, I've got zillions of rebuttal from especially left-brainer engineer or manager or salesperson that go to a result. And of course, business agility is just for tech department is the most common stupidity that I hear in business meeting nowadays and prospection. It's like, and this is coming from another anti-pattern of Agile. A lot of people see Agile, now the book is too far, cannot like, but again, one of the book written by Ken Schreiber that I always repeat it here on this podcast, and Mike Beadle, Agile Software Development with Scrum. Because yes, 22 years ago, the Agile Manifesto, the right title is not the Agile Manifesto, it's Agile Software Development Manifesto, or the Manifesto for Agile Software Development. It was a bunch of engineer and techie consultant. It was people left and right brain together in an open space in Utah who decide, but it was all about the software and the digital world, the dot-com world, the bubble who burst 2 years before that meeting in February 2001. So this is the story, and then after you have the phases, and probably next week, that's what we're going to do with the permission of Jim Highsmith, one of the co-signatory. He did again, he's a new book coming out. I don't remember the title, but we'll talk about it next week, because he do a great blog post about explaining objectively the different stage from innovation to chasm that we are in now and what's going to happen next. And I'd like myself to be part of the solution with my great colleagues of this morning at Beta Codex and OLN, which is Open Leadership Network, because I think the next move is it's more about like creating business value, creating customer experience and employee experience to the farthest point. So the misconception here on this one, I put it here out there because I hear it too often. And we are, as I said, at the end of the early adopter and going to the chasm. And the chasm, it should bring you either democratization of it or not. And I did a kind of a lunch and learn over at Online Business System last fall about who are the buyer of agility as a whole. And for the last decade was mostly the CTO or the CIO. Now, don't ask me to define, have it for yourself. Mostly CIO and CTO. It's either technological officer for the CTO or transformation officer, it's even worse. Or the CIO, it's information officer or CTIO. So those VP, senior VP in charge of technology. And I get another meeting with someone that we might mentorship about entrepreneurial and the FLEP program that we have also. And he's a creator, he's a business owner, he developed a solution. So a lot of that misconception that business agility is just for tech department came from the fact that people think that nowadays, even if you work as an healthcare agency, even if you work as a bank, even if you work in the restaurant industry, everybody seems to think that we are so dependent of technology, we are so dependent of tools and software that goes with those tools, that the large scales or even medium scales organization have not just an IT support and security department, they have a development team. And so everything seems to become, everybody is a software company all of a sudden. So that's also nourishing that misconception that you need business agility because it's just for tech departments. But the thing is, and I'm really glad that lately I received 2-3 demands in our funnel to work for organization marketing. It's marketing and sales that need our services more. So, which means that it's prove you that, and because now it's not only all of this agile and lean stuff, including the business agility, if they dare to understand what it is, they are right now other senior vice president and other demander, and sometimes it's come from the CEO, and the CEO is holistically in charge of everyone's duty. So that's helping breaking that myth. So when you have a customer experience officer coming up and knocking at the door of Agile Lounge, could you help us do some kind of workshop to teach us the power of business agility for our marketing and what they still call human resource department, for instance, or how could we enhance our customer experience and thus, so you see, so it's not just for tech departments and business agility. That was the point. We call it like this in English because in French we're still discussing about organizational agility, enterprise agility. I know the English folks in Europe are also struggling about it, but again, it's coming back to our myth of the first point. Words are important. How do you define things? And for me, it's a business. And you have a business because you have customers. So thus you put people first. Because if you don't put people first, your customer will say like, hey, he doesn't care about me. He just care about like the tools. And he don't even ask me about how to I like to use that tool. So and tech department is not just the owner of everything innovation. Everybody should be collaborative and participate. And if you go back to the 12 guiding principle, you have one among the 12 that talked about the importance of into an enterprise, it should be only have one team. Even if holistically, you should have one team working together towards a solution to solve a problem. And of course, we understand that jack of all trade is not good, is not healthy. So it's better to have, of course, a development team, of course, an IT security person that will help you, of course, people in marketing will be able to help put this product into market and everything. So everybody has his responsibility. So don't mistake, don't create another anti-pattern of having people working with all of those what should I call it? Yeah, thinking that because we talk about unifying, no, it's not unifying and centralizing. We understand the importance of the role and skills of everyone, duty and accountability. Accountability and responsibility is not shared. You have it because you are the specialist of information security or data security. So when we ask you, could we do it that way? And what is the implication of? So that's the collaboration because now everyone's strength and their domain, okay, it's like this. Okay, every agile coach, those who pretend to be an agile coach, it's not just a trainer. If you're just a trainer, you're not an agile coach. So stop writing on LinkedIn that you're an agile coach, blah blah blah. If you just do training and you love it, that's okay. But you are not part of this competency diagram because you're only one of the four part. And which domain are you? Me, I'm not a developer. Okay, I was a designer. So of course, the mastering technology or mastering language, computer language, I don't have this. But I could switch from a facilitator to a trainer, to a coach, to a mentor, and to a consultant. The five things at the top. So I could be all of the five roles, if you want to call it a role. And then into the domain, the business and consumer good domain, I'm good. And the other one, they still call it transformation. So we will have to update this, of course. I realize that this is static. That this is just there to avoid the reflection of my window. But okay, that being said, business agility is not just for tech department because that was developed to put this agile software development, this agile production mode into the entire enterprise because those guiding principles we realize that could be applied to everyone who wants to evolve and elevate themselves. Okay? Among other things, but I could go on for that. Anyway, if you need to know more, come in the June 7th at Crew Collective for those around Montreal. I'm going to talk about those 8 patterns. And then after the conference, we're going to put it here, something like this. So we're going to do another live with that and probably with someone. I would like to have someone talking about this 8 patterns of open business agility. And the number 5 misconception. Oh, yeah, I love that one. And I should have prepared a clip. Hold on a second. Let's do this. Let's be empirical. I'm sorry for any background sound that might occur. Okay, good. Are we? Good. So let's go here. I'd like you to hear this right away from someone I love who actually talked about it very interestingly. Yeah, this again I should have prepared, but okay, I'm doing an experiment right now. It's alive. Could I go there? Don't remember which video it is. Shit. Yes, it is. Okay, so let's do a musical break. I will prepare this clip to talk about this 5th misconception of business agility, which is people will say, "Oh, it's just fad. It's a new spin, old stuff." I have a lot of things about it. And by the way, that was part of the conversation I didn't have with my folk over at. Let me see this here. Okay, let me put you on mute, and I'll get back to you shortly, like in the call center. Okay, I think we're ready, and I'm gonna go show you. It's available on my channel of YouTube. We're gonna listen to the man himself, one of the innovator of business agility, with his creation of Enterprise Scrum that was back there in 2000. Now you're gonna see a couple of footage with my built by many people of that school, including Marina, Alex, and others. So let's do this here. Share screen. All right, so we're gonna watch this, and after this clip, we are going to expand on this misconception of business agility is just a fade thing and whatever. Okay, so pay attention to what they're gonna say in that clip coming up.
But I am here to present to you guys version 4.1 of Enterprise Scrum. So Enterprise Scrum is a general purpose empirical process management framework, not only to do product development, but to agilize in the same way anything, sales, marketing, startups, compliance, portfolios, anything that you want to manage in an agile way is a general way to do agile management.
It's also a framework for scaling, not only software, but scaling any other thing. You can scale up customer segment teams or business units or marketing and sales.
You should be able to do that too and grow a unicorn within your dinosaur. Enterprise Scrum origins go back to the year 2000 when we started scaling the enterprise architecture for CBS SCRUM. So that was just purely software development, right? And we grew up that enterprise architecture to about 30 concurrent applications to be deployed every 2 months. CBS SCRUM is still using those patterns. People that do it and do it well, and they have been doing it for a long time, you know. You may have heard of another little company by the name of Salesforce.com. Salesforce.com uses a style of management that is very agile. They call it internally adaptive. And so it is very similar to Scrum in nature, right? And again, Salesforce.com only grew 19-fold in the last 10 years. How would you like to be like Salesforce.com? Hard to say no to that, right? And like that, there's many other companies. You may have literally heard of Spotify. Spotify is a Scrum managed company. And like that, there's many others. Cars.com, some sections of GE. We started to do work with very many banks, some sections of JP Morgan Chase. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on, right? And in some companies, we insist in managing with outdated management techniques. Whatever they teach you right now in MBA schools are outdated management techniques that are not helping you in dealing with this kind of change. So this is why we need techniques like Enterprise Scrum, techniques that are synergized, that help you deal with faster change. Again, just to recap, it used to take
Technique, not framework.
75 years to go from question mark, rising star, cash cow and dog. Now it takes 7 years to go for those things. So you need a whole different set of techniques. There's just a lot of volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity in the world. It comes in the ways of disruption waves, business models, new management techniques, emerging markets or changing markets, technology, political, economic or social changes, changes in the workspace, changes in terms of the customer regulatory. All these things are hitting us at once. So this is why we need a new way to manage.
Why you decided to write Agile Manifesto in 2001?
Pay attention.
Because we had been doing agile things for 6 years or so. Scrum was invented officially in the fall of 1993, and we had a lot of success with projects in Scrum, but the world wasn't paying attention. So we wanted to make some noise and get some attention that this was a better way to do things. Because a lot of people see Agile as a software thing. And if you look at it from that perspective, Agile is something that started officially on February 11, 2001 with the Agile Manifesto. In a world of rapid change, something that lasts 17 years, it may appear to you that Agile is old. It's 17 years old at least. On the other hand, the real Agile impact, at least this is what some of us believe, is not what was accomplished in software, but the potential of Agile as a new way of managing things. So, some of us believe that Agile management will be extended universally to other things. This is what some of us call business agility. And that is really a future where companies innovate faster, they test things faster in the market, they can adapt faster, they can manage their portfolios faster, put more things or less things depending on opportunities. The real agility, the agility that is really going to potentially save your life as a business, is not software agility. So let me tell you how the conversations go with sometimes with people, right?
Listen.
Mike, the Agile Manifesto was written down, 17 years ago. Agile is then something in the past. The Agile revolution was great, but now we're done with it. And then I'm thinking to myself, the real Agile revolution is this revolution, the business agility. Before we did things that were Agile, and that was great. I mean, it helped us moving from getting stuck in technology or software development projects. But this is really the agility that will save your life as a business.
So you hear it from the master gang. This fifth misconception that business agility is just a fad. It's a new spin on old stuff. Well, this is far from the truth. Because it's those who will express such a misconception of what is business agility, it's because they probably have a perspective or viewpoint stuck into a static mindset, into and not a non kind of, how could I call it? I try to be respectful here. I try to tune my behavior as a couple of critics I received by email, and I try to change the tone of this Friday live Agile as well. But you see my point. I put more longer, of course, if I have prepare. So lessons learned here, prepare my show that I do voluntarily. That's why if you want to pay me a coffee, you're more than welcome. It's going to warm my heart more than your likes and more than your sharing this video to anyone. But it's always like, it's nice to have feedback. I'm open to criticism. I'm curious to learn also from you and the comment below. But that being said, like, yes, my lessons learned is I will aim to provide this live stream. But as I said, most of my live stream becoming audio podcasts. So I don't want to bother too much about visual stuff. Although that I should think of those who prefer to watch. But so far right now, I will say 85% of my audience are grabbing the podcast and do their jogging with it. Okay. So for the 15% that left, I'm sorry, but it's a lot of effort when you do it voluntarily after a hard week of work. Because I work me. I'm not just like the other coach, just blah, blah. So that's why I need this execution on Friday at 12 with you. For you, for me. To express myself and the persona of Coach AF to be a little bit rough with the Agile Wars and stuff. So anyways, that being said, like, this is probably, I put it lastly because I want to finish with that and also to maybe a little quick editorial for upcoming Friday Live Agile Day, Real Agile podcast show. I end with this one because in many conversation of business networking or sometimes in prospection, sometimes in discovery calls, sometimes with especially the techie guys, or those who are tech and business, the biz tech, whatever that mean. They always come with that. It's. I agree at some extent that unfortunately the agile industrial complex had created this monster of a new spin, a buzzword, like when McKinsey or CGI arrive and say, like, you need to be agile, you need to do agile thing, but they don't even understand what really is this agility movement, what really is the opening of the Agile Manifesto, that together we the people going to uncover new ways of working, not just delivery. How many times you hear someone from the executive team asking it's all about delivering stuff? No, it is not just about delivering a fucking product. It's about elevating those who do the work while you're talking shit on a golf court. Okay, I'm gonna tell you, motherfucker. So that misconception that it is fat, like the guy, all of those who the A word, the agile word that made them a bad taste. I could understand that. I truly understand that. But don't define business agility by this. Embrace the fact that even for myself, I should be in the more reception mode to receive these new information, okay, and to go on with you to uncover a new way of management, a new style of management, as we just saw in the clip before, that will respond to proact against this VUCA that everything hit us all at once. And I think the last 3 years we see it. And now with the inflation and the recession that nobody want to call out, but I'm telling you, we are in a fucking deep recession. And we're gonna hit the wall of a depression if our politician not put more conscious leadership and business agility into what they do with printing money, for instance. And I would like to end this show with a preview of something coming up. Fuck your chat GPT and your ESG. I know 2 weeks ago I talked a little bit about ESG, which is environmental, social, and governance for enterprise. Go with the DIE for the human resource, which is diversity, inclusion, and equity. And now ChatGPT. But the ChatGPT aspect is this artificial intelligence, this artificial agility, this artificial everything. For me, everything artificial is tasteless. We need to become more organic. The renaissance of the human, the phoenix human that will rise up again and bring something great and creative about it. And stop this dichotomy and this polarization of left and right brain, because above your brain, above your software that you have here into your skull, it should be the consciousness. And I'm not here to define consciousness because, once again, it could be subjective to everyone else again. But really, we need all of those artificial flavor. Artificial intelligence is nothing less than artificial flavor. And all of these anti-pattern and misconception that we just reached the point of the iceberg today with my fives. Huh? So we saw what? We saw the words. Business agility, it's about words. No, it's more than that. It's how you use those words, those guiding principles, and you make something of it specifically for the environment you're in. Business agility, it's about frameworks. No, it's not. It's a mission statement to put people first, okay, and improving the way your customer feel about your product and use your product and develop more business and revenue for you. So then after, the framework you use should be tailored to your culture, your product, your services, your team, everything else, okay. And the number three, we say what? Business agility is only for employees. No, it's for everyone, for the entire organization. Because once again, it's not like the misconception and anti-pattern of agile for software development. Now it's beyond that. It's not static, guys. For those who think that business agility is for employee or just for tech departments are stuck in 2001. Move on. We are in 2023. Yes, and it's going fast, isn't it? And of course, the last one, with the help of my clip that I showed you from Mike Beadle, thanks to Myrina Alex to catch it, and others, probably Mao and stuff. Business agility is just a fad, new spin of whole stuff. No, it's not. It's not. Since I start thinking and working with business agility still I'm doing like marketing trainings, sales trainings. I even teach to construction company the Scrum system for them to adapt it into a new way of working. It's not a new spin. It's not old stuff. It's buzzing with the Agile Industrial Complex. Yes. And so that's why we have to be very imaginative to explain it to people because there's too much information. It's hyper communication again. And maybe I'm part of the problem by doing those weekly podcasts. Tell me in the comment below if you want me to shut up and get out. But I'm passionate about it. And I truly believe because I saw a lot of my clients achieve better. I received a lot of comment of satisfaction about the way it's changed their life, even their personal life. Can you imagine that? So next week, I promise I'll be more prepared. We're going to reserve a segment of the show to answer your question and your emails. I'm so sorry that it's been 2 weeks. I missed it. And I really need to myself, and I'm telling it to myself, more than a valueless. I wanted to be a lot more adequate and professional here on this live stream. So after 115 weeks from my cave in Tulum, I think I should move on and improve on all the aspects and tuning my behavior. So tell me in the comment if you liked it. Don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe and hit the bell, especially. Bring me to 800. I'm almost at 800 on YouTube. And please coming up there, okay. So on that, remember who you really are. You are wonderful. You are powerful. You are free to be whoever you wanted to be and to do whatever you wanted to do in respect of all of each other. I'm tired, I think. So on this, let's praise the energy of a weekend of chillness. I wish you a wonderful weekend and see you next Friday, already May 19th. Cheers.